There's a story out. There's two that I want to go over that should be. I mean, I know the Pope resigning is a very big story, and I know that the snow is really a big deal for a lot of people. But even the snow is affecting the Northeast. The Pope is only affecting Catholics, really. And you have to talk about it. But that's not the most important story. What is the most important story? The one that affects all of us. The one that affects all of us is Russia has just bought as much gold. It is equal. They did it this weekend. It's like 800 and so many tons. It is 3 times the amount of the Statue of Liberty. To give that some perspective. That affects you. Because Venezuela, Japan, and there's another one, have started currency wars. We're really the ones who started it because we did it with quantitative easing, which is a currency war. The other one that affects you, and you may not think so because I don't live in California, is this Chris Dorner story and another one from the guy who in San Jose. Here's 2 stories that should lead the news. First, let me give you the guy in San Jose. The FBI, ending a sting, says it has arrested a man in California after he tried to set off what he thought was a car bomb at a bank in Oakland, California. Have you heard this story yet? So he went and he tried to set off a car bomb. There's terrorism in our country. Who is he? He's a 28-year-old guy from San Jose. He thought he was connecting with the Taliban because he wanted he wanted somebody that he could trust. Instead, it wasn't the Taliban, it was the FBI. He was going to bomb a bank in the San Francisco Bay Area. It was in Oakland, California. His stated goal was to trigger a governmental crackdown. And I want you to know we are on the verge of these things happening. And when I say on the verge, it could be a month, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years, I don't know. It just depends on the events and how we as people handle them. Are we looking for the truth? Do we have anybody in our lives that we trust that can calm everybody down? And how fast does the left do it? His stated goal was to trigger a governmental crackdown. So in other words, the government would say, we've got to take and infringe on some more rights. Take away guns, take away whatever it is. He was trying to frame the Tea Party. He thought if he could frame the Tea Party, the government would crack down and maybe start to take guns away, which would make the right and people all over the country that believe in the Second Amendment, they would say, over my dead body, from my cold, dead hands, to quote Charlton Heston. And what would happen then? We'd have a civil war. That was his stated goal, to start a civil war. He failed because we caught him. But apparently this isn't news enough for the mainstream media. They don't think that's important. They're liars. Because if this was happening with a Tea Party person and their stated goal was to start a civil war by framing the left, it would be everywhere. It would be everywhere. Second story. And you know the second story of Chris Dorner.
Guy who went missing in Los Angeles after killing 3 police officers. So he's a cop killer. And nobody can find him. And which is almost inconceivable in this day and age, but apparently he's been planning this for a really long time. He knows what he's doing because he's been trained by the military and LAPD. But not only is it bad enough that he did all of this, but there's actually a ton of support for him on the internet. One Facebook page is proclaiming Dorner, Christopher Dorner is the one who did all this, Dorner for president.
And by the way, Christopher Dorner has also said that he really wants to go after Wayne LaPierre at the NRA.
Yeah.
I'm giving the NRA keynote speech in Houston, Texas in, April? I can't imagine what security is going to be like for that thing. And I mean, I've never started working on a speech. You know me. I don't work on speeches until the day of, really, I write speeches. This one I'm working on now because I think we are at a critical juncture. This is a very important keynote speech at the NRA for April. So this guy is targeting the NRA.
Yeah, he wrote this long manifesto, right. This murderous manifesto, where hates the NRA, hates guns, and yet used them to kill 3 people.
And he is holding up the mainstream media. He's holding up MSNBC, Joe Scarborough, and Piers Morgan as his heroes. Mm-hmm. And he says, these guys got it. So what he's doing now is he's trying to further gun control as well.
By killing people
with guns.
So there's a Facebook page proclaiming Dorner for president. We propose electing a man who could no longer sit idly by and watch as malicious tyrants abuse the innocent. That's one. The description on We Are All Chris Dorner chillingly says, yes, this is war. Nearly 3,000 people like the page. I support Chris Dorner. And CBS 13 posted a simple question. Why? Why support a man wanted for at least 3 killings and the author of a murderous manifesto promising to target cops? One sympathizer wrote, because something needs to be done about the long-known corruption of not only the LAPD but several other agencies. Another comment read,
and that could come from either side of anarchy. That could come from those who say, I want the Constitution, but the Constitution needs to be burned down so we can start all over again. Those people who are crying for revolution and civil war on the extreme right, anarchy, or the anarchists and the communists on the extreme left.
And this from another lefty. He's God for now, and I support him and this page. So that's what we're getting from the left. That's the loving, tolerant, peaceful left in this country.